Hello, friends. My name is Serhiy. I am from Ukraine, and this channel is created and maintained by a real person, not artificial intelligence. I have been modeling for more than 15 years, and my main direction is ground vehicles in 1 to 35 scale. At the moment, my English level doesn't allow me to fully voice the videos myself, so I sometimes ask for AI help. I hope for your understanding. And today's video is dedicated to 9 tips for beginner modelers. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and here we go. All my advice is based on personal experience. And the first thing I would like to advise beginners is to take a conscious approach to choosing their first models. On the boxes, manufacturers rarely indicate the level of complexity of the set, for beginners or for professionals. Therefore, a beginner often focuses only on the beautiful picture on the box art. As a result, you can, for example, choose an interior T34 from MiniArt and get into a real modeling hell. Even experienced modelers are not easy to assemble such a model, and for a beginner it can turn out to be a disappointment and wasted money. To avoid such situations, always read reviews and comments of more experienced modelers before buying. Instead of complex kits, such as the T34 from MiniArt, it is better to pay attention to simpler options from Tamiya or Revel. These models are easier to assemble and will be perfect for your first steps in the hobby. The second tip is a little bit of a life hack. Don't start a new model until the current one is finished. One of the most common problems among modelers is starting several projects at the same time and not having time to finish any of them. As a result, instead of finished models on the shelf, there are endless unfinished models that sit dusty in boxes for years. To avoid this, I have made it a rule not to start a new model, no matter how much I want to, until I have finished the current one. For example, now I'm working on a trumpeter tractor, and I have 2 incredibly interesting kits waiting in the queue. I really want to get started on them, but I strictly stick to my rule of finishing the current model first. The next tip is to focus on basic model building, also known as out-of-the-box assembly, without any additions or conversions. When you're just starting out, it's important to concentrate on the fundamentals of modeling, clean assembly, and painting. These are the foundation of everything else. All other skills will come with time and practice. If you try to tackle complex conversions or full weathering effects without enough experience, the result is likely to be disappointing. So, start by mastering the basics and gaining experience before moving on to advanced techniques and customizations. Next, right from the start, literally from your first steps in modeling, begin practicing figure painting. This is essential to ensure your skills in building models and painting figures develop in parallel. I made the mistake of ignoring figures for many years. By the time I started working on them, I already had significant experience in building models, but zero experience with figures. As a result, there was a huge gap in quality. My models looked great, but my figures fell short. To avoid this, start building your skills in figure painting alongside your model building journey. The next tip might not suit everyone, but I'd like to share it anyway. When ordering models, consider adding small items to your cart that you may not need right away, but could be useful in the future. This way, you gradually build up your modeling stash. Over time, you'll accumulate a variety of tools, supplies, and accessories. And the best part is, you're spending gradually, not all at once, which makes it much easier on your wallet. Believe me, it's very convenient. And since we're talking about money, here's another tip I personally follow. I've set up a separate card specifically for modeling expenses. I use it to save spare change, cashback, and interest. Over time, the balance grows without me even noticing, and eventually, I can use it to buy a new kit. It's both practical and rewarding. Highly recommend it. The next tip is to always refer to photos of the real prototype before starting your build. This helps in 2 ways. First, it gives you a better understanding of the object you're about to assemble, as not everything is accurately depicted in the instructions. Second, it helps you avoid frustrating mistakes. For instance, I once filled the seam between the fabric roof of a convertible and the windshield frame, thinking it was just an ordinary joint. This could have been avoided if I had studied the prototype beforehand. So always take the time to search for and examine reference photos before starting your build. The following advice is quite simple and concise. Write down in a notebook all your ideas, plans, and lists for building models. I know that if you keep everything in your head, then at some point everything will get mixed up, and you will just start to forget about what you had plans to build models, as new models will be added to the plans, and those that were first simply start to forget. And of course, there are many more plans to build than there is time to spend on those plans. Final, 9th tip. Treat photographing your finished model as an essential part of the build process. It's not uncommon to see a modeler who has done an excellent job assembling a model, but then photographs it on a table, windowsill, or balcony. Unfortunately, this often doesn't do justice to the effort put in and fails to fully immerse the viewer in the atmosphere of the model. It's hard to feel the magic of modeling when you can't even tell if the object in front of you is real or not. Photography is not just an afterthought. It's an important stage of the modeling process that should be approached with care and attention. A key part of this hobby is sharing our work with others. Nobody wants to hide their model in a drawer. We want to show it off. A great photograph will help you capture the beauty of your work and earn the admiration of others. Photo boxes are affordable, and you can even make one from everyday materials. So, I highly recommend not skipping the photography stage. Well, I'll call it a day. Thank you all who watched. Do not forget to rate by liking and commenting, and also subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. See you soon.